Guys, I can't hide this anymore. I need to confess my sins. I committed an atrocity that it's so enormous that I must confess. It's so atrocious that I just must confess it. And that is that I insulted the Braun fanbase. You see, I greatly underestimated just how many people actually like Braun, because in one of my earlier videos, I made a joke saying there's no point in having Braun in the sequel for the Transformers movie because, I mean, who cares about Braun? I mean, where are all the Braun fans? A guy whose name is the Braun fandom, just fire, we exist, basically joined in, and I felt so guilty for saying that. And yeah, this is my public apology to the Braun fandom. But in all seriousness, can we get more people joining our Discord with names like this? Like, this is gold right here. I want more of this. I don't know, make jokes about Squeaker like, hey, Squeaker not here again, or hey, when will Squeaker appear? I don't know, think of something funny. You know what, now that I think about it, I probably shouldn't have said that. Now I'm probably gonna get a bunch of people using Fire's waifu, which is something I kinda don't want. Actually, frick, let's delete me saying that just in case. So anyways guys, it's a new year and all that. So before I start talking about, you know, theories, explanations, information, and whatever other news come up with, I thought it would be fun to look back at all the stuff that happened this year, along with laying out all the new stuff that's gonna come this year, 2020. And before we begin, we are having a Transformers spelling bee on my Discord server. We're gonna do that maybe next week. We're pushing back the release date for that because, well, we haven't really been promoting it that much. So yeah, in case you guys don't know and in case you guys are interested on appearing on a video with me, you know, link to my Discord server so you can join is gonna be in the description down below. You can just ask one of the mods for the rules. We have a Google Doc explaining them, so they'll be happy enough to give it to you. And also, there is gonna be a prize. We haven't really decided on it. We haven't really decided on what the prize will be yet, but I have a few ideas. So, you know, there will be a prize. Don't worry about that. But anyways, now we can jump into the actual video. So, what happened this year? Well, starting in January, it was basically a month after the Bumblebee movie came out, and I really remembered that for those, you know, first few months of the year, we were all like worried whether or not the Bumblebee movie was gonna be a success or not, because there was quite a bit of doubt by a couple of people thinking that the movie wasn't gonna succeed, which it almost didn't, but it did succeed at the end. I mean, China pretty much carried the movie. And even after the first few weeks of the movie's release, the movie continued to earn a decent amount of money every single day. So the movie at the end really did turn out to be a success. Which, you know, it's for the best because we can get more Transformers movies like Bumblebee, which I think is one of the better Transformers movies out there. Better than most of the Michael Bay stuff anyways. But yeah, the movie turned out to be a success. We were all worried, but at the end, it looks like we didn't have to worry because, well, now we're getting a new Transformers reboot. Whether that's another spin-off movie or whether that's Transformers plural, that remains to be seen. February was pretty quiet in my opinion. We did get a few, you know, new studio series toy reveals, and those were always nice. But for the most part, not a lot happened there. And also towards the end of February, that was the time where our favorite person ever, Lorenzo, started messing up. And one day he will be like, hey, we're doing a reboot. The next day, no, we're not doing a reboot. The day after that, yeah, the reboot's totally happening. And after that, again, he will backpedal and he will be like, no, we're not doing a reboot. And I remember that we were all so frustrated from that. Like, that was such a infuriating time to be a Transformers fan, let me tell you that. It was awful. March is the time where we got the reveal for the studio series Devastator, where they announced that, you know, they were going to be releasing the Constructicons and that they were all going to merge to form Devastator. We still don't have all the Constructicons to make Devastator, but hey, we're getting there, we're still making progress. Also in March, we basically started hearing rumors about the next Transformers movie, a few details that were happening behind the scenes, like, is this going to be a reboot, is this not going to be a reboot? And we also got the info of the Transformers Netflix show, which we're still waiting on. There hasn't been a single trailer yet, but I'm pretty sure that the Netflix thing is going to be released somewhere this year. Like, I can guarantee you that. I'm 100% positive it's going to be this year. I'll go over that more in depth after we're done with the reflection section of this video, but trust me, I'm pretty positive the Netflix thing is coming this year. So for April, we started getting a few, you know, Transformers Bumblebee movie concept art and things that and things that never didn't make it into the movie, like, you know, Optimus Prime's War for Cybertron vehicle mode, a few character designs. But overall, April was kind of quiet if you ask me. This was also the time where I was struggling to like find new video topics to talk about because not a lot of stuff was going on, and you know, it was kind of frustrating too. May is when we got the Bumblebee movie comic for the first time, the sequel comic to the Bumblebee movie, where we saw, you know, Soundwave on Earth, we saw Brawn, we saw a small segment of what happened after the B movie. And it's really hard to tell if that comic is supposed to be canon, because the comic story clearly is, you know, intended to be a transition from B movie to the 2007 Transformers movie. And we know that that's not happening anymore, so the canonicity of that comic is kind of, you know, up for debate. The rest of May was pretty quiet. In June, not a lot happened. I kind of just started making whatever videos I felt like. That's where I started doing my video series, talking about all of the cancelled and missing characters from Transformers Prime. Basically all the characters from the line continuity that didn't appear in Prime. Which it's still kind of unfinished, but it's like, you know, whatever. I'll finish it someday. June was quiet. July was also really quiet. July was the month where we got our announcement for Transformers Animated Season 4, that they were gonna, like, you know, release the first 2 episodes, like what was supposed to happen for Transformers Animated. Which is pretty cool for animated fans, and even for me, because I also like animated. That was also the month where we got the reveal of the War for Cybertron Unicron by Hasbro. And holy crap, that thing was giant. It was huge. I haven't bought it because, you know, it's too expensive, man. I could buy a Switch with that much money. I should buy a Nintendo Switch, actually. Good place over in Shield. But anyways, that's not the point. I remember that, you know, we were all like, is this gonna reach the required amount? Is it not gonna reach the required amount? I remember that in those months, there was quite a debate on whether this, you know, figure was worth the asking price, if it was gonna reach the desired goal amount. There was quite a bit of debate surrounding this figure. We also got San Diego Comic-Con during that time, and it was pretty disappointing because we honestly didn't get that much information on new Transformers toys. We got a few new figures, but they were nothing to write home about. July was pretty quiet with the exception of the Transformers X Reader, a live action movie remake reading that I was doing on my channel, which I am gonna, you know, return to do that again, but I'm taking a little break from it because those videos didn't really get that much attention. I mean, I had fun making them and it was fun, you know, collaborating with my subscribers, but at the same time, it's like, you know, a lot of effort for too low of a reward if you ask me. It's fun, I will go back to doing it, but not for now. August, again, it was pretty quiet. By the end of August, we started getting new stuff for like new Studio Series toys and a few new War for Cybertron figures. I covered a few of them, but other than that, August was pretty quiet. September was also really quiet. I had to, like, you know, come up with new topics to talk about. October was once again pretty quiet too. November was also really quiet. There wasn't really anything new to talk about. December is when we started getting the leaks for the next Transformers movie. Like, it's gonna be set in the 90s. It's actually part of the reboot. The CGI design for Megatron that was supposed to appear in the Bumblebee movies is gonna be revealed soon, and so on. There was quite a bit of news, quite a bit of info for the future of the franchise in December. I would say that 2019 was actually a bit of a transition year for the franchise. You know how in 2018 I said that, you know, 2018 was supposed to be the year of Bumblebee because Bumblebee merchandise, the Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee was pretty much everywhere in Transformers that year. This year, it looks like that after the movie, Hasbro has kind of taken a step back and slowed down with the franchise. They're like, you know, behind the curtains, they're like planning their next move. And if you guys, you know, pay attention to what I've been saying in this channel for quite a long time, I did mention that, hey, I think Hasbro needs to slow down right now with the franchise. Need to, like, you know, turn back and reconsider their approach. Like, what works, what should we do, what shouldn't we do. Instead of like pulling a Marvel and releasing garbage every year, they should just, you know, move back, relax, and rethink their entire game plan. It's honestly what they've been doing, which honestly, by everything that we got this year, I would say that that's what they've been doing. They had an entire year to plan out. Aside from a few bumps in the road, like at the beginning of this year with the whole Lorenzo, you know, misleading us, saying, no, this is not a reboot, and saying this is a reboot, and not saying it's a reboot, making the fans angry. The entire rest of the year has been relatively quiet, not a lot has happened. So what do we have to look forward to for 2020? I'm gonna tell you right now, we're probably not gonna see anything probably not gonna get a new Transformers movie this year. I think that at best, we might get the announcement that they're planning to make a movie and they're gonna start shooting the movie by the end of this year, so they can release it in 2021 or something. At best. We're also getting the Netflix series this year. I'm pretty sure we're getting it this year because without any movie this year, the only thing that is keeping the franchise right now like relevant will be the Cyberverse Cartoon. Because in 2018, you know, for most of the year, for the first half of that year, we were talking about Bumblebee. It was on our minds, it was on our discussion. But now this year, we kind of have nothing to talk about except a speculation for Transformers 2021. I think it's a good way to keep, you know, audiences and fans satisfied by releasing the Netflix series this year, which I think it is gonna happen. I think they already had enough time to come up with something. We should start seeing a trailer sometime early this year. We also have the Transformers Online game that's coming out this year. I'm pretty sure it's also coming out this year. It could come out this year or it could also not come out this year. Who knows? Because the Transformers Online thing got announced like pretty early on last year and it's almost been half a year. I think by this point they should have at least, you know, some footage that they can show. So I would say expect a trailer sometime this year, but when is that gonna be released? I have no idea. We're also getting new Studio Series figures, like, you know, Shatter, Roadbuster, the Jeep Bumblebee. We're getting quite a few new toys. We also have the Earthrise toyline, which, you know, it's looking pretty good so far, and it's going to please a lot of G1 fans. We also have the new IDW comic Transformers reboot, which, yes, the IDW company basically rebooted Transformers again and they're like starting from scratch. I haven't read any of the comics, but if you're into that, you know, more power to you. So, what do we have to look forward to this year? We have the Netflix series, the game, but the game is a maybe. It might be released next year, who knows? We got the Earthrise toyline, we got new Studio Series toys, we have probably the first details on the next Transformers movie, and honestly that's about it. Like, the biggest thing that we have to look forward to this year is Netflix, and Transformers really needs to nail the Netflix thing down. I mentioned this before, but Netflix is such a big market. Look at stuff like Stranger Things, The Mandalorian. I started watching The Mandalorian, by the way. I watched the first 2 episodes, it's actually pretty good. It's like the best thing that came out of Disney since Rogue One. Hasbro knows how important the Netflix market is. The reason why they're doing the Netflix series is because they want to get new audiences into the franchise. So that's why, you know, we're getting it on Netflix, you know, a streaming service that has a wide audience. It's probably not gonna be on the level of, like, say, The Witcher or even The Mandalorian, but it needs to be a success and it needs to at least, you know, draw in a large audience. I'm pretty confident on the team that's making the series. They seem to know what they're doing and they seem to want to tell a mature story. And if, you know, something like The Mandalorian and The Witcher are anything to go by, a mature story is something that's alluring audiences right now at the moment. So if Hasbro wants to capitalize on, you know, the current trend that's going on with the Netflix and the streaming show series, then the Transformers Netflix series needs to be, you know, not dark and edgy, but it needs to be, you know, mature enough to allure an audience. Will it succeed? Well, that remains to be seen. But all we can do right now is wait. But anyways guys, that's it for this video. Shout goes to our patrons, Moirice Prime, iPulse Fate, Mario Gordon, Predator King Hunter Plays, Mr. Baby Duke, and the absolute madman himself, Jordan the Great, who donated $100. Thanks for your support, guys. Make sure to go check out their channels, links in the description down below, and if you guys want to shout out yourself, all you have to do is donate to my Patreon. By donating to my Patreon, you get quite a few rewards. You can get a shout out to your channel, you can request your own videos, you can collab with me in some of my videos if you choose to. You get a special role on my Discord server. You can also get early access to my videos and stuff like that. There's plenty of rewards to choose from and it's entirely optional. It sounds like a pretty good deal, right? But keep in mind, this is entirely optional since freedom is the right of all sentient beings. Thank you guys for donating, it's much appreciated. So yeah, thanks a lot guys. Doesn't really look like we have too much to look forward to. The Netflix thing will be the biggest thing that we have to look forward to, but even that, We're not 100% sure if that's coming out this year. Personally, I do think it's coming this year. I think it'll be stupid if Hasbro doesn't release anything major this year. The only thing they have going for them right now is Cyberverse, so I think Netflix will be a good, it will be good filler content in between the B movie and their next major movie release. So I think Hasbro knows what they're doing, and I think that's what they're gonna go for. At least I hope that's what they're gonna go for, because it's Hasbro, They're not exactly the brightest light bulb in the house sometimes, if you know what I mean. But yeah, 2018 was a pretty fun year. I did struggle a bit with the content, and I feel like 2019 is not gonna be any different. So, I could really use some new ideas for, what to talk about. I might start, deviating into other things like The Mandalorian and Star Wars, or, maybe even anime. I don't watch a lot of garbage anime. I'm very picky about the anime I watch, like Fate Zero, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, Rising of the Shield Hero, The Promised Neverland. Guys, go watch The Promised Neverland. It's like one of the best animes I have ever watched in my life. No, really, it's really good. But again, it's a maybe. I might, from time to time, might do a video talking about something completely unrelated to Transformers, but it's not gonna become a major thing in my channel. Like, I can guarantee you that. I'm still gonna be doing Transformers for the most part, and I hope you guys stay with me for that. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe, guys.